missed that?
We're on.
Welcome to the Conservation Board meeting of Southampton Town for November 19th, 2025. I'd invite everyone to rise for the salute to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What is your pleasure on the minutes of October 8th, 2025?
Move to accept?
Second.
What date are we on?
October 8th.
Okay,
Second.
okay, good.
You have a motion to accept. Is there a second?
Yes, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I abstain, I wasn't there.
Same.
What is your pleasure on the minutes of October 22nd, 2025?
To accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I
Opposed?
abstain?
I abstain, and I see I'm listed, am I listed as present there?
No, absent.
Oh, okay, good.
No, that's just the
The
letter.
name, okay,
Yeah.
got it. I abstain.
What is your pleasure on the minutes of November 5th, 2025?
Move to accept.
Second.
I abstain,
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Me.
Move in a second. Public hearings, A 024077, Colin Heffron, the applicant requests an adjournment to 12/3/25. Is there anyone in the public who'd like to speak in this application? And I would assume not, since there's no one in the public.
motion to adjourn to December the 3rd, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A 025027, Eileen Segro, with a missed hearing,
Miss-
Notice.
notice of a hearing. We have to reschedule it?
It has to be republished in the paper. They have to file an application requesting, I think there's a fee with it too, requesting that,
Okay, so no action tonight.
no action tonight.
Advisory reports for the planning board, Hampton's Arms Associates.
Good evening, Marty Shea, Chief Environmental Analyst for the town. This is a pending site plan application that's under Planning Board Administrative Review for the Hampton Arms Associate property, which is located at 61 West Deanna Road in the hamlet of Hampton Bays. There are two recommended comments. First is that based upon an Environment Division field assessment completed on November 19, 2025, the proposed emergency septic system replacement is located greater than 200 feet landward of the nearest town-regulated wetlands along Tiana Bay. As such, a town wetland permit is not required for this project, nor is there a need to have the town wetland boundaries flagged and surveyed. Second, notwithstanding the above, two unauthorized discharge pipes were observed routed from the existing pool equipment and pool patio towards the wetlands and towards the abutting property to the north. These pipes need to be removed/abandoned and/or redirected to on-site subsurface drainage structures located as far landward of wetlands as possible.
Motion to send those comments to the planning board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The administrative wetland permits are in your packets. Resolution of conditional approval, A 025021, Mark Charbonneau and Donna Charbonneau. The applicant requests postponement to December 3rd, 2025.
Motion to postpone to December 3rd, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Just for the record, I'll make 3 for that date. It's not on the calendar, but it'll make 3.
Okay. A 025038, Patricia Bencardino, as trustee of the Patricia Bencardino Trust. Any discussion?
Move to issue.
Resolve that a conditional wetland permit approval be granted to Patricia Ben Cardino as trustee of the Patricia Ben Cardino Trust for the proposed project on the terms and conditions set forth therein. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A 025039 Judy Temmel. Any discussion?
Move to issue.
Resolve that a conditional wetland permit approval be granted to Judy Temmel for the proposed project on the terms and conditions set forth therein. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Preliminary review, secret determination, A 025033 Gregory S. Little. The applicant requests postponement to December 3rd, 2025.
Motion to postpone to December 3rd, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A 025042 Alex Tepper and Fran Tepper.
Good evening again, Marty Shea, Chief Environmental Analyst for the town. This new application relates to residentially developed property at 61 Halsey Road, and that's in the hamlet of Remsenburg, Spion. There is a preliminary advisory report on file dated November 12, 2025. The application has been made as the landowner is seeking to undertake accessory improvements to the existing dwelling, namely to obtain a wetland permit in order to construct various roof decks with access stairs. Those decks would be partially covered. The property is in non-compliance with an existing covenanted buffer in that the buffer has been cleared. There is unauthorized nine-line deer fence, not only within the wetlands and the buffer, but along other portions of the property. The unauthorized fence needs to be addressed as well. There is currently a maintained lawn extending within the existing buffer, and there is also a partial landscape wall. The applicant has proposed to remove that turpin wall and restore the existing buffer. However, upon inspection of the premises, I found that the wetland boundary needed to be updated, as the wetlands today are more extensive than when that buffer was established by this board. So you're seeing a sketch. It shows the approximate location of the wetland line I flagged. That needs to be depicted on a revised survey. As indicated by the sketch, I have also recommended that the existing buffer be maximized, leaving a 4-foot wide maintenance access way around the seaward edge of the existing elevated deck. And again, the existing unauthorized fence lines need to be removed and or reduced in height and relocated to the landward boundary of the recommended expanded buffer. The applicant has expressed no concerns about the mitigation recommendations. I did have an opportunity to speak with both the landowner and the applicant's agent. This is an application for which we have sufficient information to make a determination. As such, I'm recommending that the hearing requirement be waived.
Motion to waive the public hearing.
I have a question for Marty.
Yes.
I was trying to understand this particular preliminary report. Is the footprint of the structure that's on the property changing at all?
No. However, they are seeking a permit to build rooftop decks above the existing dwelling at various levels with a connecting stairway.
So aside from the fact that the wetlands have expanded, the size of the buffer will be the same, would be the same?
The size of the buffer, excuse me?
Would be the same, because they're not expanding the,
No, actually, because the wetlands more extensive today, the buffer that this board had previously required is not sufficient to mitigate the impacts of the project, nor is it any longer equal to the width of the buffer that previously had been required for former residential improvements that this board has authorized. So I'm simply requesting a minor expansion to that existing buffer.
okay.
And they're not objecting to any of your,
I'm sorry?
they're not objecting to
No,
any of the recommendations?
Absolutely not.
So it's been moved and seconded. Resolved that the Town Conservation Board hereby waives the public hearing requirement pursuant to Chapter 325, Section 325-80 of the Town Code. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A 025048, Diane Warrenis.
This application relates to an existing residentially developed property that has frontage on Davis Creek in the hamlet of North Sea. It contains tidal marshlands and a low timber boulder. There is a preliminary advisory report on file dated November 17, 2025. There is an existing cottage on the property. While the cottage was built on a locust post, we're looking to further elevate the home so that it's compliant with current FEMA standards. The house was built in 1951. They're looking to remodel the home, remove an existing shed. They're looking to retain the existing large deck. However, if the house is going to be elevated, the deck will need to be elevated as well, or there will need to be access stairs to the lower deck. The applicant had only filed a plan for a septic upgrade as part of this application. There was not a lot of detail or clarity with respect to the remodeling plans for the home. I have questioned the structural integrity of the cottage and challenges that might be faced in bringing this residence into compliance with current energy conservation requirements as per the building and zoning code. So I have asked the applicant whether or not the house will need to be demolished and reconstructed in order to elevate it. I did have an opportunity to speak with the applicant's agent today, who is willing to provide the additional information. I have also made the applicant aware that the flood zone elevation requirement is going to change in January 2026, in that currently the standard is that you have to build, your finished first floor has to be 2 feet above base flood elevation. Starting this January, it will have to be 3.5 feet above base flood elevation, and that further need for heightening of the structure is not confirmed by the drawings that have so far been provided. The applicant failed to provide a survey. I have also offered the applicant a drawing showing a recommended covenanted naturally vegetated wetland non-disturbance, non-fertilization buffer. I've asked that that area be covenanted, that the existing lawn and non-native Montauk daisy be removed, and that that area be restored to native plant cover. There are a couple items that aren't shown on the current site plan and will need to be added to the survey, inclusive of an existing kayak rack, as well as the needed subsurface drainage structures. And speaking with the applicant's agent this afternoon, they're amenable to the additional information that I'm requesting. And in the event that the applicant does come forward with a conforming survey, which I fully anticipate, the buffer that I've recommended will be sufficient to offset wetland impacts. So as the applicant has agreed to all to my request for additional information and further refinement of the project plans, as well as to establishment of a covenanted wetland preservation area, naturally vegetated buffer. There will be a septic upgrade to an IA, which will be beneficial as well, and the driveway will be pervious. As such, the public hearing requirement can be waived.
If the house has to be demolished, they should come in for, and schedule a hearing with the new plans to move it farther back.
Well, we can if that's the desire of the board. I've indicated that this is a very small lot, so in the event that the house has to be demolished and reconstructed, I have no issue with that so long as they retain the existing footprint. They have no interest in expanding beyond that footprint because an IA will be installed roadside of the residence, and they need sufficient area for the pervious drive. The existing residence, even if it's demolished and rebuilt, cannot be situated closer to the road. They're just meeting all of the Suffolk County Department of Health Services requirements for layout of the IA and setbacks from the IA components.
Marty, the description of the project does talk about an addition. So this is an expansion?
Oh,
of
I'm
the
sorry.
footprint?
Thank you. Yeah, there is a one-story addition that is being proposed on the east side of the residence. That addition will be FEMA compliant in terms of its elevation. Because there's an interest in expanding the existing residence, while that footprint, that supplemental footprint will only take an additional 169 square feet. That further puts the question whether or not the goals of the project plans can be achieved without demolition and reconstruction of the dwelling.
Well, I was just wondering if you had any, I mean, I understand it's only 169 square feet, but it's like 26 feet long that we're building 47 feet from the boundary of the wetlands, right? Did that give you any concern at all in this particular case?
No, I think the addition is minimal. While these are highly valued tidal wetlands, there is a low timber bulkhead along the landward edge of the wetlands. And because it can upgrade the septic, and because it can elevate the structure, no, I am not concerned. Obviously, if they come forward with a plan that is radically different from the proposal that was submitted now, they will have to come back to this board.
Or if the house has to be demolished
Right.
after the, house, turns out it has to be
I'm
demolished.
sorry.
If it turns out that the house needs to be demolished rather than renovated in place, they should come before us with a hearing.
Well, I have indicated that I don't have an issue. My preference in a case like this is that they actually do a rebuild in that same footprint, so that the home is energy efficient, it's properly elevated. So I had indicated to the applicant that even if they have to demolish and rebuild, that as long as they stay in that footprint, I don't see that would result in a greater degree of wetland impacts than the project poses right now. If it is the board's preference, in order to postpone any action on this application until the next meeting or the following meeting, we can certainly do that. And so that upon receipt of the needed additional information, you'll have a better handle on exactly what's going to be done here.
Well, we could at least do that. If it turns out that it's more than that, then they should have a hearing, I think. But I'll go along with postponing till they get more information, so I'm not jumping the gun, but I think there's a lot going on here that needed a hearing if it turns out, you know.
So the options then are to schedule a hearing, so that the hearing will provide a forum for the applicant presenting the needed additional information, or to postpone any action on this application till the subsequent meeting or thereafter, until we get the additional clarity and details that are needed with respect to this application. Or the hearing can be waived, and then if the applicant comes forward with a plan that is beyond the parameters that I have set for them, well, then I'm going to bring the application back to the board so that we can schedule a hearing.
My preference would be to postpone as well. I'm not quite understanding it with the
They
addition.
have to be more complete about what they're doing before I decide about a hearing or not. That's my-
Okay, I don't, in speaking with the applicant, they understand my frustration with not having sufficient information, and they understand the need to work further with the applicant in order to get this project better ironed out. So my recommendation then would be that you postpone any action on this application until the next.
How long would you think they'd take to get more information? Have to have an
I think you
engineer's
should have,
report?
should have the information by the December 3rd meeting.
The other side of the story is that this is a small lot, highly constrained, and with
That
an
they're asking
IA,
for an addition on.
with an IA system, they're locked into the area they have right now.
Yes, they
So
are.
we can go look at it again and again and again, but there's no flexibility. We're not gonna go closer to the wetlands. We can't go close to the road. There's not much side yard flexibility either. So we
I
can
feel like
get
they
more-
are going closer to the wetlands in this project as proposed. That's the footprint expansion.
I'm sorry?
They are going closer to the wetlands with their little expansion.
I didn't think so.
No, the
Side, no,
addition is aligned with the seaward face of the existing house. Now, of course, there's always an opportunity, in light of the significant relief that's required from the recommended wetland setbacks, that you can ask, for instance, that the deck be scaled back to counterbalance the impacts of the expansion of the home, thereby giving you an opportunity to expand the buffer beyond what I'm recommending, or to ask for greater wetland construction setbacks, because it is a little bit unclear right now. If the house is being elevated, That either means that the deck has to be raised to the same finished first floor elevation, or they need to incorporate a stairway going down to the deck. And my estimate is that in lifting that house, they're going to have to at least do a partial demolition on that deck. It's an old deck, so.
Well, let's postpone it to see then, but it sounds everything in my mind is pointing towards a hearing eventually. I don't like the back and forth about starting the project and then finding out it has to do something more, they come back to us, and we have to go to hearing. It's just back and forth. Just get more information, we'll decide then, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think the applicant is going to have an issue with that, because
So we'll postpone
the
it to
applicant
December
well
3rd.
understood my concerns and need for additional details on this project.
Any other thoughts by the others?
Oh, we can postpone it.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Postpone it for 2
Motion to
weeks.
postpone to December 3rd.
Second.
Is that a motion, Tom?
Yes. Motion to,
Second.
yes.
It's a moving second to postpone to December 3rd. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A 025049 Sue Graham, Ongaro Mingus Revocable Trust.
Marty Shea, Chief Environmental Analyst for the town. This application relates to an existing bulkheaded property on the Little Peconic Bay. The parcel is surrounded by other bulkheaded waterfront lots as well. There is a preliminary advisory report on file dated November 12, 2025. Although ideally, I would like to see the entirety of this section of Little Peconic Bay shoreline restored back to a natural beach and natural bluff edge that is not practicable on a piecemeal basis. A much larger regional plan would have to be put forward for this property in order to eliminate the bulkheads along this stretch. That being said, the historic construction of the bulkheads, of course, resulted in the loss of beach, so that, as you can see from the aerial, there is water right up to the seaward face of the bulkhead. The application was made to replace the timber bulkhead with a vinyl bulkhead with no treated wood to be utilized. One of the nice things about this property, notwithstanding the bulkheaded shoreline, is that there's a beautiful, almost exemplary, naturally vegetated bluff between the residence and the surface waters. I have indicated that I have no issue with the replacement of that bulkhead, as long as the entirety of that naturally vegetated bluff face is covenanted and secured by establishment of a naturally vegetated buffer. As such, I have recommended that a 50-foot wide buffer be established landward of the bulkhead, which would take in the entirety of that bluff face right up to the bluff crest. The applicant had proposed to raise the height of the bulkhead by 18 inches, which would set it higher than the adjacent bulkheads. I have raised concern about the planned elevation because what that tends to do is result in direction of wave energy beyond that higher bulkhead towards properties that have lower bulkheads with possible risk of flooding, erosion, and damage to those properties. So I've asked that the bulkhead replacement plans and survey be revised to set the bulkhead height at no higher than the abutting bulkheads. There is also a long wooden stairway with landings extending from the higher home down to the waterfront. The wood walkway is partially damaged, in disrepair. And so I have asked that a walkway be taken up and replaced with a light penetrable decked, elevated walkway with the supports comprised of untreated wood or other non-toxic wood substitute material. The applicant is going to use a barge for the purposes of bulkhead demolition and reconstruction, thereby averting any damage to the magnificent, naturally vegetated bluff at this property. The lot is also undergoing residential expansion, inclusive of building of a swimming pool, landward of the crest of the bluff. However, those activities are located greater than 50 feet landward of surface waters where at least 100 linear feet of functional bulkhead exist. So those activities are outside this board's wetland permitting jurisdiction. There is an advisory report on record dated November 12, 2025. The property is located on Clearview Drive. The applicant is willing to revegetate any backfilled area immediately behind the bulkhead with beach grass plug spaced 12 inches on center. So the applicant is amenable to all the recommended wetland impact mitigative measures. As such, we have sufficient information to make a determination on this application, and the hearing requirement can be waived.
Motion to waive the public hearing?
Second.
Resolved that the Town Conservation Board hereby waives the public hearing requirement pursuant to Chapter 325, Section 325-80 of the Town Code. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution of denial, WB 24001 Farron Farvid. Any discussion?
Is he, how are we going to determine if he makes all the necessary things that he has to do?
Well, as you know, in addition to the wetland jurisdictional appeal application that you're poised to make a determination on, there is also an outstanding Article 78. I anticipate that in all likelihood, the landowner will opt to first go forward with that Article 78 petition. And then we'll need to more than likely await the outcome of that process before we know whether or not the applicant will be directed to come back to this board, or whether or not the applicant needs to proceed with either filing a new administrative wetland permit application, or a modified application, or a new conservation board application in order to restore and reclaim all of the areas that have been damaged, disturbed, and cleared on this property, inclusive of virtually the entirety of the expansive covenanted naturally vegetated buffer that this board had required, as well as significant portions on the wetlands. You know, obviously, if the courts do not make a favorable decision on the Article 78, which will likely, which may seek to have any denial overturned, the applicant will have some time to file the requisite applications, and if I don't see cooperation, I'll request that the landowner be cited again and that a court appearance ticket be issued.
Okay, thank you. We're issuing a denial therefore?
Yeah, resolution before you is
Motion
denied.
to issue the denial?
Is there a motion to approve the resolution, which is a denial of the jurisdictional appeal?
So moved.
Second.
Resolve that the Conservation Board hereby denies the wetland jurisdictional determination appeal application of Farron Farvid and the request for a letter of wetland non-jurisdiction for the land disturbance or construction activities located 50 feet or greater landward of the bulkhead and surface waters. And be it further resolved that the Conservation Board also denies the applicant's request to terminate the covenant filed with the Suffolk County Clerk on October 29th, 2019. Weber D 000130034, page 299, and be it further resolved that the applicant is required to submit a wetland permit application and obtain a Chapter 325 wetlands permit for any future construction activities or land disturbance at the subject property. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution to schedule 2026 Conservation Board meeting dates.
Was that listed in our packet? I didn't see it.
It's on the last
Last
page. And just to summarize, it's very similar to this year and the same schedule that we have traditionally stuck with, and that is meetings the second and fourth Wednesday of every month, except for December and November, where it's moved to the first and third Wednesday.
Motion to accept the scheduled 2026 Conservation Board meeting dates.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.